What if one man's advice to parents shaped an entire generation, and not for the better? In 1946, Dr. Benjamin Spock published a book that would become one of the best-selling nonfiction titles of all time. It told millions of parents to trust their instincts, to be gentle, to let their children lead the way. But decades later, critics argued that Dr. Spock's ideas helped shape the generation of entitled, undisciplined, and overly sensitive adults. So what really happened? Did Dr. Spock empower families, or did he unintentionally help raise a society that struggled with authority, resilience, and responsibility? Let's break it down. Dr. Benjamin Spock wasn't just any author. He was a pediatrician, a psychoanalyst, and also an Olympic gold medalist in rowing. His book, The Common Sense Book of Baby and Childcare, was published in the wake of World War II, when America was entering a baby boom. For the first time, parents had a guide that was warm, emotionally attuned, and child-centered. Spock said, "You know more than you think you do." This was revolutionary at the time. Before him, parenting advice was strict, regimented, and even cold. Spock ushered in a new age of empathy in parenting. Spock taught parents to respond to crying instead of ignoring it, avoid harsh discipline, treat children as individuals with needs and feelings, allow kids to explore and express themselves. His tone was reassuring, compassionate, and full of respect for the child's inner world. He blended Freudian psychology with a humanist approach that made parents feel empowered. And it worked. The book sold over 50 million copies and was translated into more than 40 languages. His influence was global and lasting. But was it too much too soon? By the 1960s and 70s, the children raised under Spock's philosophy were coming of age. Many joined counterculture movements, protested authority, and rejected traditional values. Critics, including political figures and psychologists, began to blame Dr. Spock. They said he encouraged permissiveness, he weakened respect for authority, and he also contributed to a me-first attitude in youth culture. Vice President Spiro Agnew even accused Spock of helping to fuel the unrest of the 1960s. And while that might seem like a stretch, there were valid concerns. Was this new parenting style creating narcissistic, fragile adults? Did the pendulum swing too far from discipline to indulgence? Dr. Spock later clarified that he never advocated for no discipline, but the interpretation of his message had taken a life on its own. Unfortunately, many people took his message too far and raised children with no discipline at all. You don't need to scroll far on the internet to find videos of children swearing at their parents or young adults harassing strangers on the street for content. This passive approach towards discipline has creeped into schools, where it's an open secret that students can get away with anything without facing any real consequences, and parents would even threaten administrators for disciplining bad behavior through detention or suspensions. But what happens when these kids become adults? Well, some of them grow up, some of them struggle to find a stable career because they never learn to have a basic respect for authority, and others become like Johnny Somali, who was facing prison time in South Korea because he just kept on getting away with harassing people without ever facing any severe consequences early on. Whether he intended to or not, Spock's work contributed to a broader cultural shift. Parenting became more child-focused, in some cases to the extreme. Emotional expression was prioritized over obedience instead of a healthy balance being found, and individualism started to outweigh duty. This helped create a society that celebrated personal fulfillment, but one that also wrestled with entitlement, lack of grit, and deep suspicion of authority. And the ripple effects are still felt today in parenting books, schools, social media discourse, and generational clashes. So, did Dr. Spock ruin a generation? Not exactly. He changed it. He gave parents a new language of love and empathy. But like any powerful idea, it had unintended consequences. Spock helped turn the tide away from fear and towards feelings. And for better or worse, the world hasn't been the same since. If you like this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comment. Was Spock a hero or a cautionary tale? Let's talk about it.